Hi, I'm Bob Vila. Welcome home again to our Vermont farmhouse project. Today we're doing trim work in the house. In the living room, we've got an entertainment center that we're going to finish up. Also, we're taking you over to the Cob Hill co-housing community to look at one of the finished shared units. And back here, Bob Ryley is going to help us trim out the master bathroom, including a vanity installation. Stick around. It's good to have you home again. Well, let's get started today in the living room, and let's say hi to Ted Riley, our construction supervisor.
Hi, Bob.
Things are coming to a head around here, aren't they?
Yes, coming very well.
Yeah. Hey, this is looking very, very beautiful. I mean, I really enjoy this kind of work for a fireplace hearth. Now, this is a black slate. It's not Vermont, though, is it?
It's a New York black slate.
And they went to a great deal of trouble to make sure that it's a perfectly flush fit with this pre-finished maple floor. Now, it was fun to watch how they put all this together. Building a fireplace is more complicated than it looks because the chimney needs to be built through the whole house, starting with cinder blocks in the basement. The brick fireplace and cinder block surround were then built on top of the base. Fire code requires that the house be framed 2 inches away from the chimney structure, which of course involved careful planning and the use of engineered lumber to support the floors above. To place the slate hearthstone, the mason added a deep bed of mortar over concrete. The mortar raises the hearthstone to the height of the finished hardwood floor. It was tricky because the slate is heavy and it had to be carefully leveled. Finally, the floor installers began with a double border of pre-finished maple around the hearthstone and then used that as a starting point for the flooring in the rest of the room. Now, Ted, tell us who designed the actual mantelpiece here.
This is designed by Hunter Ulf, the architect for the job. It has several pieces of wood put together to make it
Well, yeah, I think the cool thing is that he's just had it made out of stuff that's kind of off the rack. This is a crown molding, and he's designed it so that the crown molding creates the effect that you see here where it's returned and comes back out at you over here at the top of the pilaster on the sides of it. And, you know, simple things like running a little router along an edge of a board so that you create a little bit more visual interest. And on the whole, the one thing that I got to say about it is it's big. The scale is high.
It is very high because of the entertainment center right next to it.
Ah, of course. Yeah. So he wanted to keep it all of one line. And he's, of course, repeating this same motif up near the ceiling. All 4 walls have a crown molding that's built on a square cornice and kept away from the ceiling and the wall so that you can add some lighting.
Some lighting, cove lighting, yes.
Cove lighting throughout it. Now, this is all to be painted, right?
Yes, it is. It's all paint grade.
Great, because what we've done here is we've used the Georgia Pacific ply bead, which has the look of beadboard, but it's plywood, and we've used that to back the walls. This is where the big screen TV will be put in. All of this will be painted. And then above here, we've got a collection of shelves. Boy, we got a lot of storage space there.
Yes, that is for some electronic equipment.
And then this will be covered behind some plywood doors?
Yes, it will.
Okay, I guess the only thing left to do here, they've already got it ready to receive hinges, but it looks to me like we need to iron on a band before they finish it up. All right, well, congratulations. It's looking very, very good. Next, we'll be at the Cob Hill co-housing community to check out their insulated windows. We're in Heartland, Vermont, and look at those beautiful frames coming up in front of those gorgeous green hills. Now, we've got 4 houses a building here out of a total of 14 buildings that will supply 22 housing units to this Cob Hill co-housing community, which is part of the Cedar Mountain agrarian effort here to preserve the farm that's been operating here for over a century. Now, behind me on this side, you can see quite a number of these buildings, which are all grouped together so that the number of people living here, the number of housing units will have a minimum impact on the actual farm. But let's go see Mark Albee, who's in charge of the project here, and take a look at one of the interiors. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Good, Bob. How are you?
Great. So it's moving day for some of the members of the co-housing community here.
That's right. We have a few members who are starting to move into these houses here.
Well, this building is looking terrific. I love the color you picked for the siding here.
Thanks a lot. It's pine shiplap that comes from a sustainably,
Grown source.
yes.
So that we know that it's a renewable source of wood. And the roof is what material?
It's galvalume. It's a traditional roofing material that we use a lot in this area. In fact, most of the roofs that you'll see around here locally are the same sort of galvanized roofing.
Yeah, it's very popular in Florida too. It weathers nicely, it darkens up, and it does really tie in nicely with the old silo roof and the farm buildings.
That's right.
The windows are pretty enormous for a small building like this, aren't they?
Well, we wanted to get as much passive solar gain as we could from these south-facing windows.
Boy, that view is fabulous though, isn't it?
Isn't it nice?
So what kind of windows are these?
These are Thermotech windows. They're a Canadian fiberglass window.
So it's a fiberglass, they call it a pultrusion.
It's
don't they?
pultruded,
Yeah.
which is a little bit different than your normal vinyl or wood or aluminum windows.
And you've got insulation inside there, don't
That's
you?
right. The pultrusions all have a styrofoam insulation in them.
And what kind of other features do you get from this kind
Well,
of
this
a window?
particular cross-section shows an example of a triple glaze window. In this application, we opted for cost reasons to go with a double glaze with one low-E coating on it.
And so you've got the kind of situation here where I think expansion and contraction is pretty much at the same rate, so you end up with a nice tight window, don't you?
That's correct. With two dissimilar materials like glass and fiberglass, the expansion coefficient is quite similar, so that you maintain a tight window through all seasons.
And that's important up here
Up
in
here
this
it's very
region.
important.
The floor is pretty distinctive. What is it?
This is yellow birch flooring. It comes from a mill up in Maine. It's certified flooring. And
How come so many short pieces?
well, that's part of the process. It's flooring that would normally be discarded because they are short. There is a lot of color variation, grain variation in it.
So it's a savings in terms of the cost of the flooring?
That's correct.
But
We're
it's-
able to use a product that would normally be not used in typical flooring operations.
But it's got to be labor intensive to put all this flooring
It's
down.
very labor intensive as well.
So this is a spacious kitchen, isn't it?
This is a kitchen that serves two housing units,
Ah.
actually. This is a shared duplex. It's the only one that we have in this project. And it's two living units, and they share this kitchen between them.
That's a great approach. So this is the unit that's already been completed, and they've got their burgundy wall-to-wall carpet and their furnishings in there, and it looks very pleasant, even though if you look out the window, it's still a construction project, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're living in a construction zone
Yeah.
here, definitely.
It sure is a nice spacious kitchen. Then this is shared basement space, and can we take a look at the other unit here?
Sure, let's go in here.
Same flooring runs through.
Yes, this is a little less finished than the other space. We're putting on a few more doors here in this
Yeah.
space, and we have the window trim to finish out.
Down to punch list items, okay. But it's maybe 14 by,
About 12 by 14
12 by
living
14.
room space, and there's a small bathroom. The owners have purchased some salvaged plumbing fixtures from a local salvage company and had our plumber install them for them.
so there's a bathroom and a bedroom downstairs, and what's up the spiral staircase?
That'll be additional living space. There's a big master bedroom suite up there.
Basically a loft space under the roof.
Yeah, originally it was going to be just an attic space, but they opted after we were in construction to finish off the space.
It's a good idea, there's plenty of volume.
That's right.
Well, congratulations, Mark, it's coming along really nicely.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
When we come back, Bob Ryley joins us to trim out some bathroom windows. Okay, Bob Ryley's with us here to trim out this large bathroom area. And just to give you the geography lesson, the alcove behind me is for the toilet. Then there's a shower, an area here for a tub, and then this entire wall where he's working will be a series of vanities and storage chests. And normally you just come up to a window and you trim it. You put the casings on and you put an apron and a sill, and that's it. But the interior designer suggested that we trim both of them as
one unit because they came in after the place was plastered and
right.
decided they wanted to put a mirror in the middle.
So this will have one big mirror in the middle, and this will be continuous all the way across and on the top. So what about this?
Well, we'll just have to pull these wires out. The electrician will have
Yeah.
to pull the wires out. We'll cap that off, and new fixtures will go up above the mirror.
Okay, above the mirror.
Right.
So the first step is to figure out how to attach this rather broad sill, right?
Yeah, because it's pretty long, and also it's going to be wide. It's 3.5 inches wide, so we really can't just nail it up there.
Yeah. Well,
So-
over here where Riley's about to mark it, we'll
Right.
talk about how to join it. Are you going to use the biscuits?
You've got it. We're going to biscuit it, and then we'll screw it into the sill, and the biscuits will help keep it flush across the top there.
Okay.
So I've got that one there. If you can hold that.
I got it.
Let me get the other window.
Want to make sure we don't miss our marks so that the biscuits join perfectly.
And then while I'm at it, I'm going to mark where these studs are, because I want to set a 3/8-inch hole in here for these screws we're going to use. And let's see, one more right there. And these screws want to go in so that they'll really grab the meat of what the window that's in.
Great. The biscuit is basically a sliver of wood that will go into this piece and the other piece to join the two. And the biscuit cutter, show us the blade, Riley.
Okay? Just plunges right in like that.
Get your fence back down. There you go. So the speed square is just a visual aid. To drill the hole straight in there.
Right. Hold that one there.
Okay, a little dab of glue on the outside of the biscuit, and you ready to put your end in?
I'm all set. How you
Here we
doing?
go. All right,
Okay, looks good.
and now the screws will really do the job of driving it close in. Okay, now the apron receives a 15-degree angled cut on each end,
Right.
and that's, I guess, customary here. That's what they've done throughout the house. Okay, now we'll just position it, prop it up with a little dead man, and shoot it. All right, these should all allow for a 1/4-inch reveal all the way around.
Exactly. All the same size. Okay, 1, 123 1/4. Let's see. Let me check that. It's the same square. Yeah. Okay.
All right, and there's our header.
Okay, I gotta go to you a little bit. Right there.
All right, well, the casing is all done, ready for the mirror man. Next, we're going to be installing these beautiful cabinets. We'll be back in a moment with more on cabinet installations, so stick around. Okay, so we got to look at the plan, but this is number 2.
Right?
And let's bring the other one in.
Okay.
So they decided to design a built-in dresser in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And according to the plan,
Okay.
this goes in the corner. So all 3 of these have to be installed here. How do you go
Right.
about that?
Well, the first thing we want to do, the best way to do it, attach them all together so they become one unit. Then we'll cut our plumbing pipes where we're going to be coming through. Looks like the center piece there. And then we'll put it into the
Gotcha. I
wall.
think it'd be a good idea to take out the drawers.
Yeah.
So we're using a cabinet clamp to hold the units together while we fasten them. The clamp draws the stiles together and also holds the cabinet face flush. A hole in the side of the clamp acts as a guide to ensure that the screws are placed in the center of the stiles. Yep. Meanwhile, Ryley is measuring the location of the holes to be drilled in the cabinets for the lavatory waste pipes. He's also attaching spacer blocks at the back of the cabinets to solidify the unit.
Okay.
Okay, that's the last one. And how are you coming back there, Bob?
Good. That's it. I've got these located. So we're ready to drill these holes.
Well, those are with the hole cutter, right? Because those are the wastes for the plumbing.
Right.
All right, now let's try moving it into place.
Okay.
All of a piece. Come to me about 4 inches. That's it.
Good.
So how would we fasten it now? Directly to the studs?
Right, we already got our studs marked out, so we'll just screw it right in. The same 3-inch screws.
I do like these cherry wood doors and cabinets from Crown Point. They've got a nice satin finish on them. These great chrome hinges, which are most appropriate in a bathroom where you're going to have a lot of damp. And they're easy to take on and off, right, Bob?
Oh yeah, just take them right off with Phillips head screwdriver. Boink, right back on.
Well, it's nice drawer construction. Dovetails, and these bottom mount sliders are really nifty. There they catch, and they're done. All we need is a countertop, but we're out of time. Come home again next time when we'll be building a granite dry-laid stone wall, putting in the front hall staircase, and touring some of Vermont's famous covered bridges. Till then, I'm Bob Vila. It's good to have you home again. For lots of information and resources for your home improvement project, check out my website at bobvila.com.